First of all, welcome, Matt.
How's it going, man?
Good
Sorry.
to see you.
You too.
Um, so a couple of things that I have in my notes here that I'd be interested in. I mean, the first thing, kind of going back to the pickleball paddle,
Mhm.
my I wonder if one of the pitfalls might be that is like right now, pickleball's super hot
Right.
and popular.
Yep.
Will it be next year? Who knows? So then, you have something that's not necessarily connected to your brand, but the same target audience. And then if, next year pickleball, nobody cares and it's just kind of a flash in the pan, now you have to
Yep.
go through the process of building that or at least revamping that value add bundle again.
Right. Yeah, it's a fair point. I think, the like if we're looking at this from, what's ideal, right? Like if
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at this from the perspective of what is number one, the easiest way to enter this, or to begin this strategy, let's say, well, like what's the simplest point of entry? And also what is the mechanism that makes it the most evergreen so that you could just keep running it and running it and running it and running it? Then I would say you're looking at one, as you indicated, the best case scenario I feel like is probably some sort of a product that's directly related to your product line. It's very complementary to it. So if we're in the pool space, finding some sort of a pool related product would be ideal. It's not a necessity, but it would be ideal. The second thing would be you're obviously looking for a partner. We've discussed this before, but a partner who either one is selling consumable of some sort, whether that's service or product. Either one is basically consumable, more or less in the same, realm, because it's evergreen. As long as you're doing a good job for the customer, they keep coming back, right? So if you find that partner, then the upfront expense to them is worth it if they're looking at lifetime value of the customer. But you got to find a partner that is offering a really good product or service, because again, if it's going to be evergreen, it has to be a partner that you're going to be able to continue with going forward. And if their product or service isn't good enough for the customer to keep coming back, then they're going to recognize, hey, I put this money, I outlaid all this money on the front end for this free offer, but nobody's coming back to me, so I can't keep doing it, right? So
What's an example of a service?
What's that, Matt?
What's an example of a service?
So for instance, let's say in the pool space, now this isn't perfect because there's a geographic component here for us that's problematic. Yeah. But let's assume the geographic component is irrelevant. Then this would be a good, so pool service companies, right? Like, a lot of our customers use pool service companies. Now, maybe they're already happy with somebody, maybe they've already got someone. But the point is, if you could get them, if a pool service company could say, hey, we'll give you, a free whatever, whether it's spring clean out, whatever, to get them in the door, and they do a good job. Well, then now it's weekly or monthly, earnings for that pool company over time.
So for you, that is seasonal, and it would be for mine too. I have kind of more like a summer type. I mean, people still grill all year long, but so what would be an example of something that you could do that is evergreen, that would be a service? Is there something, or does the fact that you're seasonal limit you from being able to do that?
Actually, you know what? I don't think the seasonal component is nearly as big a deal because the product is seasonal, because our product, and it's only seasonal for a certain number of customers, right? Some customers are year round. Right. I'm selling to people in Florida all year, which also means in that area, pool service is year round, right? So in that sense, they're tied. But the problem is, geographically, you have the problem that you don't have a single pool company that you could go to that services the whole country, right?
Right.
So I can't have a single partner. About the closest I could come to, because when I was thinking this through, is there is a franchise company out there that has a large number of franchises around the US, but the problem is they're still very pocketed, right? So every customer of mine would not have, a franchise of theirs that would be close enough that would make sense. So I wouldn't be able to offer that as a freebie to every one of my customers. And it has to be something that everybody can get. So John and I were talking earlier. Basically, we moved on from and he was just talking about the pickleball paddle. That's something that the partner had suggested as an option. It's not directly related to our target market, but there's good overlap there in terms of the target market, age group, type of individual, that sort of thing. So it was a workable free item that we could offer. We moved on from that for simplicity's sake to try and do gift card, just a straight up gift card, $25 gift card. And again, the issue that I was talking about with John there is that whereas if you offer a free product, you get to offer more value than cost, right? If I offer a pickleball paddle, I can tell them it's worth $50 because if it's a really high quality paddle, it probably is, maybe even more. But the cost to us is maybe $25. So value for cost, we're in a much better scenario there. Whereas gift card, it's equal. Whatever your cost is, that's the value, and the customer knows that. So in that sense, you don't win on that. You're better off with a free product or a free service of some sort that you can pitch a higher value than the cost differential.
So even if you let's say, for example, I don't see this happening. I mean, my gym, for example, turned 2 big giant basketball courts into 3 pickleball courts. So like, I don't know that I see pickleball being a flash in the pan. And if it is, it feels like it has at least a couple of years. So let's say, for example, you were to choose pickleball, that would be your thing. How hard would it be for you to change that a year and a half later, 2 years later, if it were a flash in the pan?
Not that hard. My perspective is that it's far more important that you find an evergreen partner than that you find an evergreen free product. That would be my perspective on it, because whatever partner you find, if this works and they do, and you both do well, then they're with you in the long haul. Like, why would they not continue, right? And so if you start discovering that product isn't a good enough incentive, they're going to recognize that too, but they want to continue.